Hi there, Awesome Lawson here, and we're beginning to do some filming, more filming on the Hillbilly Engineering River Salvage Operations. Behind me we have the boat that we're going to be using. We're going to use parts off of that boat that have previously been used for fishing and use them for the river salvage operations. We're going to use other parts that we've salvaged, found lying around, and we're going to use some other bits and pieces of things just laying around the house here. So I'm going to show you the parts, how they are today before the building actually begins, and let you see how it all comes together the Hillbilly engineering way. So have fun. I am. What we have here is a fishing rod holder. Like I said, this boat has been rigged for fishing, and this is a very, very sturdy fishing rod holder. And if you look down through it this way, if you can, kind of hard to tell with the dark truck in the background, you can see clear through that holder. And what's really going to help out is this part of it right here that is completely encompassed. As far as this is going to be a vertical stabilizer, I'll call it, for the rod that's going to go up and down. And I'm going to use two of these, one above the other. Again, these will be positioned this way, and use one above the other to insert the rod down through it to keep the rod upright so it doesn't do this. So that's one piece that we looked at on the boat that we said, hey, we can repurpose this. I don't do a whole lot of fishing. Let's use it for the river salvage operations. Now, another piece on the boat that we're going to use that was actually designed for something else, is this piece here. And this is a mounting base or bracket for a downrigger. Downriggers are used for deep water fishing, so that you can tell how far down your fishing line is. And you'll see the rest of it later, but you slide your downrigger onto this, and it rotates so that you can put your downrigger facing outward, and that's how it works. But the key part of this is that it rotates. And this one here is broken. Long story, funny story, but it's outside the scope of this film. But this piece right here pulls out, and this is what is supposed to lock this into various positions throughout the rotation. And so the one on the other, there's one on the other side over here, and now that one works. It does lock into place. So again, we're going to take this, or both of these actually, but the one on the other side that locks into place, we're going to take it, unmount it from the boat as it sits right here. Again, we're going to rotate it, this one, into a vertical position, and that imagine it facing towards you, and this is the side of the boat here, with those previously mentioned fishing rod holders, and then the bar going through it this way. The fishing rod holders will support the bar, but with that thing turned on its side, removed and turned on its side and put on a different mount, you can take the rod then that's positioned horizontally with the boat, rotate it, and now the rod is ready for the up and down movement. Okay, here's a piece that we talked about before. This is a seat off of one of those go-around chairs, those electric chairs, scooty chairs you see people riding on. And we've disassembled that scooty chair, or that go-around, hover-round. And the key role that this is going to play is for the person that's going to be doing the manipulation of the rod that we talked about going up and down. We're actually going to use the controls on the hand wheel here, or on the armrest here, for the up and down. This will be connected to a 12-volt battery, and it's going to be the control as the person sits in the boat operating the camera to give the up-down movement of the camera. All right, here we have one of the wheels that came off of the hover-round chair. There were two of them, and we're only going to use one for right now to provide the up-down movement of the rod, the camera mount. And it has the rubber wheel on it here, and that is a solid wheel, But anyway, it has the wheel on it there. The plan is to take off this rubber part and then use the rim as the pulley to attach a cable assembly. So as this piece rotates and spools on or despools the cable, it will run up to the top of the pole, the vertical pole, but there'll be a pulley up there to keep everything lined up and smoothly operating. So this is going to be our electric winch, basically, with this rubber wheel removed. It has a cable here that plugs in to the chair assembly that will eventually feed to the arm control that you saw a moment ago. And then this here is the actual mount for the hover round chair. Now this is going to go into the boat and sit on the deck. I'm not even going to try to mount it rigid at first, I don't think. But that's the mount, and the stem of the chair, as you can see, will go into here, and then so you have this spread out so the chair ain't flopping around. Here is the console where all the different pieces of that hover round chair plugged in. So the wheel that I just saw you with the plug on it will end up down here. When we put the chair seat into the stem, it'll plug into a main bus over here, and that's going to give us the and once we hook up the battery, you can see the red cable here. Once we hook up the power, well, here it is down here. Once we hook up the power to the battery, then everything just comes together as far as this goes. Now this also has the front wheels left on it. I may end up going ahead and taking these off, and so it sets more flush on the deck and doesn't have a tendency to roll around. And then I can use one of these wheels, if I take this rubber off, use one of these wheels as that pulley that I talked about at the top of the pole, so the cable feeds smoothly. And right here I have just some particle board, some pretty thick particle board that used to be part of a shelving unit. It's been cut up into pieces, but this piece is big enough that it's going to act as the piece that's going to mount on the side of the boat. There'll probably be layers of this for good strength, because I'm going to need to run bolts up through the bottom of it to put bolts up into it and fasten it to the side of the boat. But more to come on that. But this is the piece that the rotating part I showed you earlier for the downrigger would get mounted to, and just imagine that in the middle of this, and then mounted on the side of the boat, and then that's going to be this will be the main mount. Okay, so you've seen all the pieces that I have chosen to use for now. There may be other things that come in as the design process goes along, but those are the main components that I've come up with, and we're going to make it happen. So I hope you enjoy watching the video as this progresses along, actually seeing how these pieces come together, get to view the testing. That should be funny or fun. And thanks for watching. Hillbilly Engineering.